How to know when your sourdough starters become active. I knew my sourdough starter was active when I started seeing bubbles and I actually started seeing it double. I know some people are like it takes a week or so to see activity, but for me it took longer for some reason. When I first made Benny, it took me about 2 weeks to even see activity. And then if I'm being honest, I really didn't see any activity even after that time period. What really gave me activity is when I made his sister, Canary. Benny was a starter that was made specifically with bread flour, and Canary was made specifically with all-purpose flour. Now I followed the same steps with Canary as I did with Benny, but Canary became active, I think about after a week. And at that time, Benny still wasn't active. So the only factor that I really could kind of think about was it had to be the different flours, because I didn't use different water or anything like that. So I'm not saying that you can't make a starter with bread flour, but for me, all-purpose flour actually was better because I actually saw activity a lot quicker. But what I did to get Benny active, I just inoculated Benny with a little bit of Canary's yeast. So basically all I did was take a butter knife, stir up Canary a little bit, and then I took Benny and then I started just swirling it around as well with some of the yeast that I got from Canary. And from then on, Benny actually became active, even though he was actually much older than Canary was. Also at that time, I stopped feeding Benny bread flour. I started feeding him all-purpose flour, and then he's been flourishing ever since. Like he's been rising and falling, just like a dream. So if your sourdough starter is not becoming active or isn't rising, maybe change the flour. If this information was helpful to you, let me know in the comment section. Follow for more.